We often take modern tools like lawnmowers and vacuum cleaners for granted, but you might be surprised to learn that many everyday items have much older origins than you'd expect. Some of the tools and technologies we rely on today date back centuries, even millennia. Today, we're diving into the surprising history behind some of these items. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Let's kick off with the history of footwear. Since early humans didn't make shoes from materials designed to last through time, our knowledge is somewhat limited. Shoes were usually made from soft, flexible materials, not exactly ideal for long-term preservation. Still, a few ancient shoes have survived, giving us a glimpse into the past. One such shoe, called the Armenian Areni one, dates back to around 3500 BCE. And guess what? It even had shoelaces. Another famous example is Ötzi the Iceman, who lived around 3300 BCE and was discovered wearing shoes with laces made of lime bark string. While ancient shoelaces were simple, they eventually evolved into what we use today, complete with aglets, those little plastic ends. The modern aglet was invented in 1790 by Harvey Kennedy, making it much easier to thread and tie shoelaces, even if they still fray sometimes. While dealing with insurance companies seems like a modern headache, the idea of insurance actually dates back to ancient Babylon. The Code of Hammurabi, written around 1750 BCE, is one of the oldest legal texts and outlines one of the first insurance policies. Back then, merchants would borrow money to fund their trading voyages. If a ship was lost at sea, it could ruin the merchant, so they would pay lenders extra for a guarantee that the loan would be forgiven if disaster struck. While the insurance industry has evolved significantly since then, the basic principle remains the same. Speaking of old innovations, automatic doors aren't as modern as you might think. In the 1st century AD, Heron of Alexandria, a mathematician in ancient Egypt, developed a system to automatically open the doors of a temple. His clever design used heated water and a series of pulleys to make the doors open without human effort. Modern automatic doors, of course, rely on sensors and electricity, but Heron was way ahead of his time with his mechanical system. Water hoses might also have ancient origins, though there's some debate. Some sources suggest that the ancient Greeks used ox bladders and intestines to create crude hoses for spraying water, but there's no solid evidence to support this. The first reliable fire hose was designed much later, in 1673, by Dutch inventor Jan van der Heyden, who was inspired by a devastating fire in Amsterdam. His design used linen, which was water-resistant, and was later improved with leather to make it more durable. Today's fire hoses may be more advanced, but they owe a lot to van der Heyden's invention. When it comes to keeping lawns neat, mechanical lawnmowers didn't come around until the early 19th century. Before that, people had to rely on grazing animals or workers using scythes, the same tool that the Grim Reaper is often depicted with. In 1830, an Englishman named Edwin Beard Budding created the first mechanical lawnmower, originally designed for large gardens and sports fields. Budding's design was later improved for easier use, and it's pretty similar to the push mowers we have today. Vacuum cleaners also started out as industrial machines before becoming common household items. The first manual carpet sweepers used rotating brushes and bellows to suck up dust. By 1901, British engineer Hubert Booth and American inventor David Kenny had both developed powered vacuums. Booth's machine, powered by a horse-drawn engine, sucked air through a cloth filter, while Kenny's used steam power. It wasn't until 1908 that portable electric vacuums were introduced, thanks to James Murray Spangler, who used a fan and rotating brush to create the basic design we still use today. Ballpoint pens have a surprisingly long history too. The original design was patented in 1888 by John J. Loud, who wanted to create a pen that could write on rough surfaces like leather. However, his pen didn't work well on paper, so the idea didn't take off. It wasn't until 1930 that Hungarian journalist Laszlo Biro, inspired by watching marbles leave trails of water, developed a pen that could smoothly roll ink onto paper. This design became the ballpoint pens we know today. Superglue, on the other hand, was a happy accident. In 1942, Dr. Harry Coover was working on a new material for gun sights when he accidentally created a sticky substance that ended up being perfect for glue. Superglue was later used to hold together parts of jet aircraft and even to seal wounds on the battlefield, though it didn't become an approved medical tool until much later. Finally, disposable tissues like Kleenex were first developed during World War I as a substitute for cotton in gas mask filters. After the war, these tissues were marketed to women for makeup removal, but consumers soon found them handy as disposable handkerchiefs, leading to their widespread use. So, which of these surprising firsts did you find most interesting? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching this video. Before we are ending the video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.